Let's cut across to images coming in of Prime Minister Modi meeting with the European Union chief, Ursula von der Leyen, who is currently in India. The focus, of course, will be on ensuring that there is a trade deal that comes out, that emerges from this particular meeting. The EU chief has arrived with 22 commissioners to boost strategic ties. Now, the focus will be on ensuring that this year a trade deal is signed between India and the EU. And Prime Minister Modi has, in fact, stressed on the need to ensure better ties with the European Union. So it's expected that talks on a free trade agreement will be, in fact, concluded this year. Shashank Mattu is joining us with more details on this. Shashank, this meeting, very, very crucial, the EU chief's visit, particularly because both the EU and India are looking to boost ties, are looking to conclude talks on a free trade agreement.
So you're absolutely right. There are really three things that India and Europe are going to be discussing during this visit. Number one is trade, as you very rightly mentioned. The India-EU free trade agreement has been stuck on a variety of issues for a while now. But Europe is increasingly facing pressure given the geopolitical reality it's facing with the Ukraine war, with America. It needs trade partners, it needs strong countries to work with. India is that country. So moving the free trade agreement along is going to be absolutely crucial. On defense, Europe is looking to rearm significantly and increase defense expenditures. Working with India to boost that will also be important. The European Union has just announced that it's going to be working with India to create a security partnership the way it does with Japan and South Korea. So that's a big development. And finally, connectivity. The India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor is a project that both India and the EU have been very interested in. Pushing that forward and giving it a big political push is also going to be a big focus of the visit. So three things: defense, trade, and connectivity that the two leaders are going to be discussing.
All right, Shashank, thanks very much for those details. We'll track the big takeaways once, of course, the meeting concludes. So the meeting currently underway between Prime Minister Modi and the European Union chief. And of course, you have the EU referring to India as a trusted friend. Remember, the EU is India's largest trading partner in goods, with bilateral trade reaching about $137.5 billion. And we're talking about 2023-24. And in this particular decade, we've seen a huge rise in trade ties between India and the EU. About 90% growth in trade ties. The question, of course, is about the FTA. We've seen several rounds of talks, the latest which took place last year, but there have been some sticking points which both sides are hoping will be cleared out. And more images coming in right now of the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and the EU chief. There will be also a lot of discussions on the EU expansion, what that means globally, on green and clean energy, mobility, talent, on security as well. Shashank Mattu is with us for more details on that. Shashank, we are expecting, of course, that the next round of talks on the FTA will be happening in March this year. So just before that, in fact, that meeting takes place in a few weeks from now, this meeting is going to be very, very crucial, considering that EU is also India's largest trading partner.
Right. I've just had a conversation with one of India's most senior trade negotiators in the past, and they were telling me, look, the simple fact of the matter is this meeting is important because what is needed now is a political signal from both the leaderships of India and the European Union on getting this trade deal done. If you leave the matter to the civil servants, it will not progress. We already know that for a while now, the India-EU trade agreement has been stuck on a number of key issues: more access, Indian tariffs, non-tariff barriers, a bunch of complicated technical questions that will now need to be resolved through a big political push. The two political leaders, really President von der Leyen and Prime Minister Modi, are going to have to show their bureaucracies that they want to get this deal done. And that is why this meeting is so important. They need to tell their bureaucracies that we want to move this thing along and get the India-EU free trade agreement signed. That's why this meeting is so important.
So unprecedented in the scale, because you're looking at 22 of the 27 European commissioners also accompanying the EU chief. And that itself tells you how important the European Union considers India to be as a partner as well.